All right, here we are.
Yep, there you go.
Just one moment, getting my headphones set up.
Sure.
All right, here we are. You ready to get it kicked off?
Yep.
All right, so welcome to the MBA Founder Podcast. I'm Njeri Cooper.
Hey, Njeri. This is Sandeep. Nice to meet you. I'm glad that I'm doing the co-hosting with you today, and I'm excited.
For
Let me
sure,
talk.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of great things that we want to talk about on this episode, primarily AI, and we have a few other topics around AI, how we use AI as a student, how other MBA students might be using AI. Would you like to kick it off with a question from the list that you had?
Yeah, sure. So, before we get there, right, I think we need to set this context up, and like tell folks like we are coming from the founder's journey. So, what are we trying to find, or where are we with our MBA? I think that's where we can kind of get started. So, do you want to go first with your uh, founder's journey so far, or do you want me to?
For sure. I am a student. I'm an MBA student at a school. I don't know if we want to name drop the school, but our school's name is One Day, and we have just such great, support in the program. We have a lot of mentors. We have a lot of people that are coming in and doing community courses. We're having people that are, being our squad leader. We have class, which is a squad, and then we have a meeting with a mentor, and we're in a cohort, the people that start in the same month. So we're just surrounded by so many different entrepreneurs and getting a lot of different perspectives and a lot of help. I'm currently on Sprint 7. So far, I'm in this from my MBA journey, 7 weeks essentially. I think it's about 8 weeks total because one of the weeks was like a gap week. But so far, I have, a clear question as far as who is my customer. I could answer that question. What are some of their pain points? I can answer to some of that. But now I'm at a place where I'm wondering, does the solution that I want to build actually solve the problem of the customers that I have? I'm focusing on what's called risky assumptions this week and trying to, you know, use a scientific method to reduce those assumptions and make those more into facts with complete certainty.
Perfect. So, I think the 7 weeks is quite tricky for us because we are like moving pretty fast in this program to identify our customers, or maybe like the potential customers, what kind of a pain process they are going through, which they may or may not be realizing that they are paying a lot today, and list that down again. Yeah, I mean, we both are in the same journey. We started at the same time and we are from the same college, so basically I'm not going to repeat that stuff again. uh, but from my point of view, my customer niche that I am focusing is our homeowners. So anyone who has a property, a home. Like being a homeowner is a new journey. The day you start being your first time with your first home, you know but that comes with a lot of things that sometimes might surprise you. Maybe sometimes burn your pocket, your budget. So my thinking, or my pain points that I'm trying to assess from the homeowners is like, what is that kind of things as a homeowner, or maybe like realtors or mortgage brokers or property managers who used to work with homeowners have seen or have discussed with their homeowners to figure out, what are those pain points. Being a long term homeowner, what are those pain points which we can solve so the new homeowners may not need to go through the same problems again. So that's where I kind of do my research. Again, this first 7 weeks is kind of very very crazy. And we have to find the right customer, talk to them, understand their problem without even selling them any solution. Know what is really burning, keep digging through to figure out what exact problems are there, what kind of intensities those problems hold, and how much they are in need of a solution that solves the problem. So yes, that's about me. So Anjali, uh, the very next question, since this episode is all about AI, and that's the new buzzword in the town. You just talk to anyone, they will tell you, hey, I know AI, I have used ChatGPT, I have used Gemini. So in this 7 weeks or 8 weeks, including the pivot week, how much have you tried using AI, any AI, Gen AI, or you know, anything?
Yeah, so very shamefully, I'll say that I use AI at every step. And I'm using AI as a tool to help me understand what's being asked of me from the coursework, because sometimes in the squad sessions, things get a little bit muddy. So, for an example, this week with the risky assumptions homework, um, in the squad session, I thought that a risky assumption was just, a simple sentence. Any assumption you come up with is fantastic. You can try to test that. But in my mentor meeting, my mentor let me know that no, you do have to have that emotional component in there. I can't just say, hey, is my customer, you know, are they having this problem? I can't test if they're having this problem, but are they having this problem and are they frustrated by it? That's what is that emotional component that I can test. So the AI that we use or that I use is provided by the school. Like they create these, systems that help us really expand on what the topic is as far as how we're going to apply it to our business and how we're going to test it. And it gives us this framework for being able to come up with the answer. It's almost like a teacher when you don't have your teacher present. It walks you through the homework. It doesn't give you the answer, but I've been typing away into some of these programs, like kind of low key getting frustrated. Like, what do you mean I'm not asking the right question? Like, I watched the masterclass video. I showed up to class. I talked to my mentor, but this artificial intelligence is telling me like, no, you need to revisit that, go a little deeper, ask some more questions, figure out the emotional component. And I'm like, I'm emotional, not understanding emotional components. Um, so I actually heavily do rely on AI, at least as a filter and as a teacher. I'm not quite using it to create a lot of things. I'm using it to help guide me in the right direction. And I think that's what it should be for. It's just a tool. It shouldn't be like the answer to everything.
Yep. So exactly, the too much AI part is like, what point is when you say it's too much AI? And I believe, like, we need to use AI for sure, because it will refine the thoughts, it will give you more insights that maybe like at the first place you may not be realizing that, because of the data that comes to it, because of the exposure that AI has today. And like, that itself will solve some problems for you, not necessarily everything. So one of my mentor used to say this one, like AI is as good as the data it's fed with. So the more the data, the more the precise answers you can refine and find out, but you need to ask the right question alongside. We used to say this one, right? Keep asking the why question at least 5 times to understand what exactly is the problem. So the same applies to AI too. Like when it gives you an answer, keep asking, why do you think that is answer? Where do you think you got the source? So you keep drilling down that as much as possible, and to finally get you the actual reference points that AI have used at the first place to give you that answer. And like I would say, like too much AI is the point when you blindly trust AI. Like you can ask AI, hey, I'm doing XYZ and I need you to give me a customer interview script. Just simply taking that script and preparing that and going next to the customer and just using that script isn't going to help you, because there is an emotional part where you need to connect to the customer before even the conversation starts. And that's typically where I believe we have certain limits with AI, but that's where like human intelligence we need to kind of apply and connect people through that emotional path. So that's where I believe, like, a borderline between where you can use AI versus where you should use your applied intelligence other than the artificial intelligence. Again, both AI. So uh, as we keep going through this part, right? The 7 weeks is nothing. Like we have 1.5 year worth of journey here with one day in terms of this MBA program, or the founder's journey. And like the whole 7 or 8 weeks was kind of rough, I would say. But again, rough in the sense it is something that I have never done in my whole career so far. So talking to customers, drilling down the pain point is something brand new. So I mostly is kind of a person coming from an introvert background. So basically, you can see like I have a problem with talking to people, and that's the first stereotype I had to break as part of the first 7 weeks. You know, so that being said, you know, we are heading into a world of AI, and the dominance of AI is going to be even more than what we think today. Every single person out there knows about AI. Every single company or products or service, whatever they're offering, they lean on AI. AI and automation, is something that is going to grow with a bigger scale. So maybe like based on what we have done so far, right, and all the tools we have today, what skills do matter? Which you think like that is something that you need to keep up with the AI things to get the right answer out of it. What's your thoughts on that?
So I feel like the tools that you need or the things that you need basically is the ability to ask the right question. Because you could be completely clueless about a topic, but if you know how to ask good questions, I think you can persevere. And I really feel like I can answer to that because the product that I'm building, I'm completely outside of the industry, but I'm just asking a lot of questions, learning how to figure out how to ask the right one so that I can eventually get to building a product that would solve the pain points of the customer. And that all starts with asking a question. So I think it's a really simple answer. Another thing is that I'm not sure if it's motivation, perseverance, confidence, but whatever that is, the fire inside of you that keeps you waking up every day, that makes you, come to class every day, go to your mentor meetings, invest those extra hours into your business every week, and keep progressing in the course. That's
Mhm.
the other component that you need is staying on the journey.
Right.
What about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. So for me, exactly, you nailed the first part of that, is like asking the right question for sure. And asking the right question, in some sense we kind of niche down. So I can tell you that with one simple example here. So when I was trying to identify the problems that a homeowner is facing as part of my research, uh, the interactions that I had with my Gen AI, mostly I use Gemini. Uh, I was kind of putting the context from a homeowner's perspective and trying to like drill deep. But one day, like I thought, like homeowners, it is very tough to kind of connect to them, given that we need some huge social media platforms where these homeowners hang around to go there and start asking this question, so we get a variety of answers which we can use to finally find the highest or the biggest pain point that they are facing today. But you need to talk to like 500 or 5000 or 10,000 people, which probably is something possible if we go through some social media. And again, most of the social media, including Reddit, what happens is that when you ask this question, people will like back off, or they may not respond to you, thinking that you are some sort of a bot trying to do some sort of a sales out there. uh, it happens because they have seen a lot of that stuff going on, or maybe even those social media groups will kick you out. So that's when I really wanted to find out other alternatives that I can connect with homeowners. And one day I just asked this question to Gemini, like, can I talk to a real estate agent? What are your thoughts on that, about getting some insights of homeowners? And that's when it suddenly like, yeah, that's a good idea. You should be talking to real estate agents because they deal with the homeowners every single day. So maybe you can cut short your journey with a journey of getting answers from 10 homeowners by talking to one real estate agent. Wonderful. So if I have formatted my question in a way like, I don't want to talk to 10 homeowners, can I talk to one person who can give me answer of the 10 homeowners? It could have prompted me that talk to a real estate agent at the first place. But you know, these are some of the things that I have figured out, like asking the right question, drilling down, going through that. And another thing, like, with AI, one thing that I can see today is like we have a lot of contents. There is like a content explosion in the last few years when we come to this digital world, right? And end of the day, we only have 24 hours. Like that part is never going to go change anyhow, unless we decide to change our clocks. I don't know. But with that 24 hours, with this much kind of a content, with a lot of noises in those contents, it is very tough for us to keep up with stuff. If you search for something, if AI was not around, if you search for something, chances are very high like you might end up in non-relevant entities at the first place, and you have to keep drilling down every single page to finally get the answer that you're looking for. But with AI and giving the context with as much information as you can, it will drill down to the answer to the point that you're looking for. So that's the best part I have seen with AI. So you should keep doing stuff through AI and keep enhancing that. But again, just like I mentioned before, don't trust the answer blindly. Keep asking those why questions. Keep drilling down to find out from where they actually got that answer was, something that it derived, and what kind of sources was referred. So you will at least get a confidence on whether to trust that answer or not,
For sure.
right? And you know, this is very interesting. Like um, somewhere in a movie that I have heard that mathematics is the heartbeat of the whole earth. It sounds so good when I hear that in that local language, but I believe that is also true nowadays. A lot of algorithms we are hearing now, a lot of mathematicians, statisticians, if I not didn't spell wrong, and of course, like more of the models and derivatives and integrations. We hear them a lot and lot and lot nowadays with the AI booming up. So, what do you think about algorithms? And what are your thoughts on like the whole thing happening in in the AI space with those algorithms and models?
Well, I do feel like, large language models or image models or any type of GPT models that they have going on, algorithms that are, I don't know, pulling stuff off the internet like an API. I think I think that AI is being called artificial intelligence, but in actuality, it's just an API built into somebody's website that's scraping the internet for data. I know there are language models that think and give an answer, but it does have to scan the web if it's programmed to do that way. And it does have to rescan previous conversations. So it's building off of something. It's not like it's just coming up with answers. Unless it's, like you said, a mathematical AI and you're using it to do calculus homework. Then it's kind of just doing math, which is what computers do anyway, ones and zeros, solving those mathematical equations to put things on our screen, which used to be lower level languages. Then assembly, and then it started getting more higher level into things that we can read and communicate with our words. But I'm really not feeling like, I don't think it's anything other than just math, like you said. It's pulling that information from somewhere and coming up with an equation as a solution. And things are changing. AI is getting better. It's learning more from what we're feeding to it. Uh, but I think we should definitely have more constraints, more fail safes, some safeguards in there. Because if AI ever has the ability to teach itself, that could be the most dangerous algorithm that's ever created. So I'm just hoping there's not an AI built to train AI. Uh, I'm not
Yeah.
really sure how a lot of it works. I started taking a data, like a data engineer's AI course, but it's like all Python on
Mm.
Code Academy. And so far, like 33% into the course, I learned some Python, and then I learned a little bit about APIs, and I learned about pulling all that data in and making a table. What does it mean to have a complete table? And what does it mean for the data to be like incomplete or choppy or not whole? So I kind of feel like I can't speak to answer that question thoroughly. And I just said everything that I know right now, which probably isn't that much.
Yeah. I think you answered the question by saying that you don't know completely to answer the question. Huh? But again, the long story short is models. Mathematical models is what I believe we are like putting the real world into. So for any real world use case, we have a mathematical model, or at least our scientists and mathematicians are trying to put a model for every single real world use case we see, so that they can kind of bring it to a unit space to study that and kind of change the space and dimensions to see how these things are going to work in different environments. This is like, I believe, 12th, 11th or 12th grade mathematics of integration and differentiation, where you bring it down to a unit space and then you scale it up to a different space and see what is going on there. I think something similar is kind of happening. But with this LLMs and the way they are giving you the data, I believe a long time back, before we heard about these LLMs, we saw um, email text completion, something that Google was giving. So if you type something, it will tell you what is the next word. So technically, it used to like read through corpuses of documents and figure out like what are the chances, they could be using a word and put a, let's say, a number next to that, saying like, okay, this is very high chance versus this word has a low chance. There is a third word which will have another chance. uh, you know and those intensities is where it, which we kind of use today. So when you search for something, it will use those tokens to figure out what are going to come against that token, what is going to be in that combination, and identify the relevant other tokens from the knowledge base or the knowledge graph or even the model, and then put some instruction on top of it to refine what is exactly you are trying to see. And finally, it gives the answer to you, and before that it will even do a validation to see all the requisites that the user has asked is taken care of. So there is like transformers and stuff like that. If you kind of peel that onion out. um, so again, end of the day it is data, just like you mentioned in your, and you learned in your Python course. End of the day it is the data. As clean the data is, as good the prediction will be. It's always like a statistics. So you have to like make sure your data is clean as much as possible. And to an extent, like you expressed one of your concern, like what if AI train AI? I think that is already happening somewhere. AI is training AI. You know, I I could be wrong here, but all the Tesla autonomous driving is something that AI is sitting on top of AI to learn through all those scenarios and better out the coming versions of their self-driving software. And like every time you use AI to like judge AI, because there are cases where you can build a complete application in AI and also build the test cases along with that using the same AI. So technically the application and all the testing possibilities you can make through AI. So there could be like very heavy chances that AI is being trained and tested using AI itself. Maybe not the same AI, but some different AI or a different version of AI. But my concern is like, if we, I don't think there will be an AI prime minister or president somewhere down the lane, because I don't think people are going to trust the data blindly. They still apply their human intelligence on top of all these predictions. But at least, people who will go ahead and start using AI in their daily life will see like they are getting some time back for them, for their family, for their loved ones. So definitely, like keeping AI close to you is going to cut down a lot of time that you wanted to spend. And we can see that trend shift already happening because people moved out from YouTube videos to shorts. They can like see 10 or 20 shots in the time they're seeing, one 30-minute video. uh, and they need I mean, like they are like looking for some specific contents and they just get it right away. AI is also used by platforms to identify targeted, advertisements and things like that. So and maybe like Facebook is using that, maybe like Instagram is using that. I don't know. I'm just putting some guys here. Maybe they will come back and sue me, but again, but it's kind of, in a way, it is kind of helping people, to get things faster and accessible, and also don't need to spend like time, lot of time to get there. Because I know like the time when we used Google to search for a specific thing to do the coding, and we had to go through like 3 or 4 websites to figure out the exact thing that we need. Then we finally do the coding. Versus today, you just ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Cloud or Perplexity or even Copilot. It will tell you right away, this is what you have to
I
do.
feel like I gotta pause you because it's like I got so many points that I want to say based off of what you're saying. So I want to back it up to the AI prime minister. So there is a country that appointed an AI prime minister. Have you heard
Okay.
of that?
No, maybe I missed.
Albania. Albania
Albania.
has an AI prime minister that was recently appointed. And it's an AI system. It's
Mm-hmm.
the country's Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence, and it's a symbolic but precedent-setting move. It's the first cabinet level AI minister like ever in the world, and specifically for that country. I can drop the video over to you. I can screen share this video. I'm not sure if it'll pick up the audio, but I want people to Google that.
Yeah.
There is an
So
AI
there is
minister out there,
Albania.
and
They are thinking before us, and they are going beyond the game. I don't know like how
well,
it is going to come out.
I think they did it to combat corruption, like to make sure that there's no corruption in the cabinet and identify people that might do something about it. And the people in the cabinet wouldn't know how to make the AI be quiet, make the AI not send that email. I'm not really sure um, who's in charge of the AI, who monitors it, who trained it,
Mhm.
but I do know that this is recent. This is within the last 6 weeks. This actually happened, so
Yeah, that's
that's worth looking up.
fairly new. Yeah, so I think it is good at least someone is giving a try. There are like medical related advancements also made through AI, and with all the quantum computing coming up, which will improve our computing space and power, it's going to gain more momentum. You will not be restricted because of your hardware limitation, which is going to be something that quantum bits or quantum computing is going to solve. And the prime minister case specifically, yes, they are trying to battle the corruption, which is good. At least they are trying. But it, just like I mentioned before, right? AI is as good as the data you feed. I can give the data that I can manipulate to make the AI prime minister as a corrupted guy. So there should be a stricter governance coming on top of this data and the models, like which one you use for what. Because if you're using something for a medical advancement, it should be properly tested, it should be properly checked for all the biases, it should be properly checked for the information quality before even you let that do any stuff. Same with the prime minister, same with the systems that take decision. So that kind of a guardrail they have to start putting on top of it. There should be, I believe that there is already a governance committee for every single country, and the United Nations also has something. I don't know, I don't recollect what that entity is, but they are kind of working together to build a governance policy for the AI. So even if AI trains AI, as long as AI is non-biased, AI is getting the right data, I think we should still be in a good place, right, Injury?
Yeah, I do feel that way. I like that there are a lot of laws coming down about AI globally, and hopefully they can trickle into whatever we have going on here in the United States, because I think we need the most help. I think that this could be extremely disastrous if we don't let the scientists do what scientists do. You know, like in horror movies, like the scientist is literally trying to warn everyone, like, hey, this could be a real issue, or hey, this is actually a real issue. We should pay attention to this, or we should put a stop to this, or we should, safeguard ourselves, vaccinate. We should limit screen time and learn how to code and all of this X, Y, and Z. And the government isn't, enforcing a lot of things or protecting the
Yeah.
people or even informing the people sometimes when things happen. So I really
And
do hope that we have the ability
yeah,
to.
I think we will evolve, Injury. So this is the thing, right? When AI takes care of things that humans do today, humans use AI and kind of build better. Because we could see, like, look at our generations, right? How our parents were versus how we are today and versus how our kids are going to be. We could literally see that transformation all the time. So I believe, like, um, this whole AI, when we kind of adopt to that, our intelligence will become one more level up, and maybe not one, maybe 100 level up, maybe 1,000 level up, and we will start thinking some different things. We will start exploring more. There are more things that we can do. Otherwise, we can build a beautiful Earth, and AI can tell you what to do when you are given a scenario. And we are also exploring options to go to Mars and inhabit in other planets too, which all might be possible, at some point of time. And the biggest health issues that we face today is also something that AI might solve, in the long run. So that's where I'm optimistic. That's where I'm hoping. That's where things are going to be. And of course, like, we have a lot and lot of food scarcity in so many countries. Hopefully, AI can do something on that too.
True. I mean, AI could save the world if it remained positive and didn't, you know, absorb any negativity and start hating us as humans and, trying to punish us like how technology does in the horror movies. But if we're able to get ahead of things and train it to solve problems, it could definitely resolve food scarcity. But then on the flip side, then we have to go through the legislation that we currently have that oftentimes side with the major companies and big pharma.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think it's in the government or corporations' best interest that people have all of their needs met, because then what will they be paying for?
Yeah, that's true. So I think to a limit, AI will go in that route because end of the day, it cannot take everyone's job because everyone's job is gone means there is no one getting paid, and no one getting paid is who is going to pay the tax. So definitely there will be some sort of a limit coming in on where you can put AI and where you cannot. But let's keep an open mind. Let's like think through like if AI is going to do the job that I'm doing today, what am I going to do tomorrow? And let's be smarter than AI before even AI gets there. Hey, Njeri, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties over here, but I don't think I can hear you anymore.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
yeah. I can hear you, yeah. It's just only one headphone is working, so that kind of
Yeah.
that's really interesting. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yep. Yeah. I I think I covered my point. So what's next? We both being the co-host of this podcast. What do you want our viewers to know, or what do you want? Like we share this through our social media platforms. What do you want people to know? Like I would love to see people coming and talking over about AI from their experience, from what they do on a day-to-day basis, from every walk of life, how it feels. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think AI could be a topic, but I feel like one of the major issues that we could help solve for our classmates is bringing them on the podcast, asking them questions about themselves, the product that they're building, the business that they're building,
Mhm.
of course, how they utilize AI, but I don't want to just focus on AI. It's a nice trendy topic, but it's there's a lot of other things going on too. And
Yep.
there are some industries that AI can touch and get into that people haven't really thought of how AI could be useful in the industry yet. Like, for example, mental health. There's a lot of stigma right now around AI and mental health. And I know a lot of founders in our class, in the whole school network, that are building mental health organizations to help bring customers to the therapist or to help give customers some ideas or coping mechanisms, things like that. So we really don't think at the moment as a society, we don't think that AI is a good therapist because AI could be telling you all kind of weird, crazy things when you're by yourself with AI, but I don't ever think that AI should be there either. So I really do think we should let those industries shine that right now don't have a space for AI. I want to talk to some people. I think we have a lot of interesting people in our
Yeah.
class alone, in our cohort, in our school. So I want to hear what they have to say. We can ask an AI question every time, maybe build that into it. How do you use AI in your business today? I think that would be something, trademark that we could do, but
Yeah.
focusing on this topic alone is not, that's not ideal.
Right. That's interesting, Injury. So I think like we need to bring other folks from our group from one day to talk about their journey. They could be like a different path depending on when they started this journey. And yes, we can have them ask like how AI was helping, but rather than focusing on AI, let's focus on their journey and what they learned. You know, what they faced, and they know like they're not going through that path anymore, and how like they manage to get through things, because we know like a founder's journey is always ups and downs meaning deep downs. So you will get all the emotional things when things go the other way around, and somehow you have to steer through that and come out again. That's the best part of one day too. Like you get a one-on-one mentor and a squad team, so you can go and tell them how you feel every single week, how your journey was, and like once you tell them, they will guide you on how to come out of it, which I really loved, and that's where like we need to ask this question to our other teammates and understand from them, like how they kind of steered through this situation. And of course we can ask about AI because that's the new talk of the town. So it will also benefit people who are looking forward in using AI, who are looking forward and seeing the future on like where and where not, like the do's and don'ts of AI and the do's and don'ts of you know things. And maybe like if you are interested to become a founder in future, what should you do, what should be doing, what are your baby steps and things like that. So I think that's a good idea, Injury.
Awesome. All right. So, hmm, how are we going to wrap things up for today?
I think our takeaway for the day is that don't freak out with AI. AI is good. It's just your mindset. If you think AI is coming behind you, I don't think that is true. AI is behind you for sure, but it's just asking you, like hey, can you include me also in your journey? That's what AI trying to do. Yes, there are good and bad data that is fed to AI. So always try to question or always have your human intuition on top of the answers you are getting, or keep asking the refining questions like why you did that, why you told me that, what is going on. Try to be the reasoning there. And until you get that answer drilled down to a like reliable reasoning source, and I just don't accept that. And always like human beings are smarter than AI. Even if you don't think so, that is the truth. So we will figure out a way to have AI, even though it is doing the stuff that we are doing today, and become even smarter than them and find the next possible options. So the founder's journey is going to be very exciting because we see this possibility and we are trying to build on top of this possibility. But again, there are chances that certain places where we cannot let AI in, especially like some huge decision making options, which we can figure out as we speak to our co-founders. And as a next step, we will like start talking to our cohort mates, our fellow founders who are in a different who may be like advanced, who have started the journey way before than us, um, and see like what they have for us, like what they have seen, what they have done, and how things are going on with them. And we share this founder story, founder experience here, so others who end of the day want to become a founder could benefit out of it. Like we did these mistakes, you don't need to do that. That's what we are trying to tell them. So we will keep doing this stuff with others and we will bring in and take their experience.
For sure. I feel like this was a huge bomb of a question to try to leave on, but I think we have very different polarizing views about AI.
Mhm.
Like, I feel dirty. Like, I don't tell my like nice, gentle, spoken word hippie friends that I use AI every day. Like, I feel like they would block me if they knew. Like some of my dearest friends, you know? And then I have other friends that have the same beliefs or the same morals or whatever that use AI too for like tarot readings and stuff. So it's a very polarizing thing right now. I don't think just because of the AI hallucinations when AI gives you incorrect or impartial data or completely makes up lies and tells you fallacies that don't exist, but the implication of how humans are going about AI. We're literally boiling the ocean, putting servers down there, making global warming worse, heating up the globe. We're taking people's clean water supply in the cities, like where I'm from, in Memphis, Tennessee. They're using the aquifer to power or cool down this huge data center that nobody asked for. Even in the age where AI is, you know, 50% wrong sometimes, um, we are taking resources from humans to give it to computers. So ethically, we have a huge problem on our hands. So ethically, it's almost like I don't want to touch it. But as a founder, I know that it's like currency. I know that it's like, mushrooms. When you play in Mario, you gobble up the mushrooms and it makes you bigger, it makes you go faster. Especially in the type of, cohort and class that we're in. We're on an 18-month program. You know, when we started, we were told a lot of founders are profitable by month 3 to 5 or 3 to 8. So I'm trying to meet that metric for myself. By the 8 month mark, do I have a business that's bringing in money and able to pay bills? I could get there if I use this AI that the program created for me to use. You know, if I trust the people that are leading me and use the tools that they're using and developing, because we do have a lot of AI developers and coders in our foundation, like other founders near us in our school, in our cohort, even in our own classes. Um, but on a personal level, I'm not like jumping for joy to say that I use AI. But I would love to hear other founders, takes, how they feel about it. Um, it's such a polarizing thing. And
Yeah,
I love that for us, that we have different views and that we remain friends and we can smile about it. But if I could wave a magic wand and make AI gentle on the planet, healthy for people to be around, not taking or tainting our resources, I feel like we would be in a much better place about it. But I don't think AI itself is doing anything different than Google is already doing.
yeah,
Like your Google searches that you do 50 times a day to figure out how to do your job or your assignment. Like everybody's already using Google. We all have Gmail. And now we're pinging in questions every day into AI, and now AI is a problem when the whole internet is kind of the problem. So
yep. And
I don't know.
just to make you happy, since you are like defending on AI, if you write a post using AI to to connect with customers in Reddit, the moment you put the post in, within few seconds, people will realize it's AI and they will expose you right away. So that is like I can put this as a closing statement, like to the fellow founders or the ones who are trying to become the next founders. Make sure if you go to Reddit, you talk as you, not as AI, and that's how you can kind of gain more traction from people. Because if it is AI, they know the way how AI posts are generated and how polished those sentences are. I wish it's more like putting a presidential speech there, giving all the words without repeating. That itself is more than enough for someone to realize, hey, this guy is using AI, or this guy is a bot. To my surprise, I have seen a couple of comments coming like that. So yes, just be yourself when you are engaging in social media and with people, because people love to talk to people, not to AI. So
For
yeah,
sure.
I think this difference of opinion from both of us, we are going to make a great co-host group, and let's see who our next speaker is and what they have for us. Good or bad, we will just figure that out. But it's worth sharing.
Absolutely. We're going to roll the dice and figure out who we're going to bring on next.
Yep.
So far, we have about 8 people that have expressed interest to talk to us. If we do one episode a month, we have all the way until next spring. If we do twice a month, we have, end of winter to, bring guests on and talk to them. But I'm pretty sure if traction moves on, we'll get more
Yep.
people wanting to come on, more people want to talk to us, and more interesting topics to bring to the customers, not customers, viewers. Uh, Thank you so
To
much for
me,
your time today.
yep, yep.
And
And thank you for putting this together because, as I told you, it's hard for me to talk. Sometimes the words just, I don't know, it just disappear in my head somewhere. I don't know. But having trusting on me and bringing me in here is a real help. I don't know, like after seeing the playback only, I will realize what kind of things I have blabbered or where I did goofed up. But again, end of the day, hope our viewers will be not coming behind me for things that I have blabbered or I have not I have goofed up. But again, it's interesting. It's good to talk. I don't know, like in future there will be an AI Injury Cooper and AI Sandeep Kumar Ladika going to talk like this. I hope not, but up until then, we will have this manual talking and probably like I don't know how it is going to come, but probably I
yeah,
put this
no,
right. We are human beings still, not AI.
I definitely expressed concern. Like when I first started the program to my mentor that I don't want to speak to AI because I fear that one, will literally take my voice, two, will take my communication style. And if I upload images, those AI images will be out there and people can start making, deep fakes with my face. Um, so I hope there's not an AI us in the future. I would like to continue this because just like you're learning how to speak, I'm learning how to lead a conversation. Because usually I'm in the background and I let other people steer. This is a great experiment for me to learn how to be a better host. But I would like to wrap up this episode with a quote from our kits that they mailed us when we became founders. And I have my founder plaque right here on my desk in front of me. I look at that all day, every day while I work. But the quote that's inside of this box says, "Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and more capable than you imagine." And that's a quote by Roy T. Bennett. So, Sandeep, you need to believe in yourself, as I'm
Mm,
about to believe in myself, and all the other founders that are going to come onto this show believe in
yes.
themselves.
And those who want to become founders after seeing this video, believe in yourself. You are more
All right.
brave, you are more intelligent, and you are more capable than you think. You have never tested the water yet. Like whatever you see today is, I would say, just bare the surface. There is a lot and lot underneath that. So believe in you. There is a miracle.
Absolutely. Signing off.
Yeah,
Good night.
signing off. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.